Welcome back to Building Wisconsin. I'm Stuart Keith, and you know, most of us don't think about the plumbing in our homes until a problem arises. And then who do you call? So in this segment, we're going to follow along with Borth Wilson Plumbing on one of their daily service calls.
So what we have here is we have a water heater that sprung a leak last night. The customer had called our emergency line and said they had no hot water, went down the basement, discovered they had water leaking from the water heater.
Boy, if I'm that homeowner, I'd be a little panicked. You'd hear it in my voice calling, going, boy, I need to get to work in the morning, kids off to school, I have no hot water. How do you handle a situation like that?
Typically what we do is we talk to the homeowner, I answer the phone, I call them back, or one of my servicemen or master plumbers calls them back, instructs them how to shut the water off above, that the gas shutoff will automatically shut off. There's not a worry about that. We try to get the water under control for them that evening and then try to schedule a service call for the next day. Now, not always does that happen, but that's what we like to do.
Boy, I like that approach to it too, because you can probably save the homeowner money if you don't have to send somebody out in the middle of the night.
Sure.
And if you can put a Band-Aid at least on the problem to get them through to the next morning, that's got to be nice peace of mind knowing they're working with an experienced professional who's looking out for their best interest.
Sure, that's typically what we like to do. And there's a lot of other emergencies that crop up as well. Drain cleaning problems, people call the numbers, and then we try to figure out if it's one drain, two drains, whether the sewer is plugged. Toilets too, we get a lot of that. We ask them to shut the water off underneath it if at all possible. But I think the key for everybody is to know where the main water shutoff is in the home. And if you have a well and or city water, at a well, all you have to do is shut the switch off to the well or in the breaker box, and that would shut the well down and shut all your water off. Usually stop all issues and all problems in a home, and then you can step back and think about it for a few minutes, and we can get a service guy out either that evening if required and or the next day, which is preferred.
Boy, that is great advice for a homeowner out there and should be taken to heart. Understand where your shutoffs are for your water, whether you're on a well or on city water, because it sounds like in virtually any emergency situation, those are the first things you want to look at.
Generally, when our servicemen are out, we like to tell the homeowner, the servicemen will walk through it with the homeowner at the end, especially in maybe a new homeowner who's not that familiar with the home. Do you know where your water shutoff is? That's the first thing we like to ask after the job has been completed, so they know as well.
Do I have to worry about the gas coming here?
Typically on any gas water heaters, they have all safeties. You don't have to worry about the gas. Most people don't know that. They're worried the gas is going to fill up the home. But all heaters today, and even in the last 40 years, have had automatic shutoffs, where if the gas stops working because the water leaked on it, it will automatically shut off. We also have a sticker that we put on the heater that will say that information as well.
Okay, let's take this situation. What are you going to do to remedy this?
Well, typically on this type of an installation, this is a direct replacement. We're putting in the exact same style water heater, so attaching directly to the vent and using the same gas line over. We'd be cutting the copper and putting on new and replacing the valve in this situation.
Okay, sounds pretty painless. They call you last night, panic in their voice.
Correct.
You can get out here and within 24 hours, it seems like they're going to be back up and running.
Usually quicker than that. We try to get out to all water heaters and all those kind of emergencies we handle the very next day.
You know, you touched on a couple of the other calls you typically get.
Sure.
I mean, let's offer some tips and suggestions. You said know where your shutoffs are, but are there some other maintenance tips or some tips that you can give or share with homeowners out there?
Again, I really like to have everybody know where the water shutoff is. With a water heater, you should know where the valve is above. Again, you don't need to worry about the gas. The gas will automatically shut off. With toilets, again, know where the valve is underneath it, okay? Drain cleaning, there's not much you can do that. It kind of just happens right all at once. If it starts to get slow, don't wait till it completely plugs up, or then you plunge it and it backs up into the basement. You want to try to rectify that ahead of time.
Boy, and you know, one thing I think I would add to that is, that's great advice. Know where all the shutoffs are, but even more important, know who you're going to call. Know what the professional is, because the worst thing that could happen to you is you call somebody who's not experienced or is really, not ethical. They're going to send somebody out there and you don't know what type of work you're going to get.
Those type of contractors usually want to come out immediately. They don't want to try to give you any advice. They don't want to tell you where to shut the water off. They want to be the person that takes care of that so they can charge you for those items.
If they call the right person, that's the message you're saying.
Right.
Call the right company with experienced plumbers on staff. Ones that care about your situation, you'll try to help them get through the night, save them money by not sending somebody out in an emergency unless you absolutely have to.
Right.
But then you can remedy the situation usually the next day.
That's correct. We do run all journeyman plumbers and or master plumbers on all service calls, whether it be drain cleaning, sewer cleaning, and or water heater replacements, from the technical down to the not so technical stuff. Because if the sewer's backing up, there's usually a reason why. It's a broken joint, possibly some other problem. Same with a plugged drain. Unless you drop the rag down it, there's other things that could be causing it. Maybe a trap is leaking. Then our guy can fix that right away. Typically, he's got the parts in the truck. We take care of everything right there on the spot.
One call, one contractor, get the solution done as quickly as possible.
Correct.
Well, it's been great on today's show, looking at the bathroom remodeling. It's been nice seeing how you handle service calls. And, what I'm taking away from it, you get your best value working with an experienced company. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
The preceding program was sponsored by the Building Wisconsin Television Network.